Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Andy Monroe, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can scale your Skool community by leveraging the power of events. We got a little smiley face in there, so the vibes are going to be good. Honestly, I was just thinking about this, and over the last hour, I've been putting together this presentation, kind of just freestyling. This is not very structured, and obviously, if you've been watching my channel before, this is a completely different format. I'm doing like a presentation style here. I just went through and made this presentation, so it's not pretty. There's a few transitions. I will give myself credit there. It's kind of cool stuff. There might be some spelling errors, but essentially the whole purpose of this video is just to give you ideas on how you can scale your Skool community with the power of events, because events are extremely powerful. In my opinion, they are the most powerful tool for scaling a business, especially coaching businesses and communities. However, I don't think this power has been tapped into in Skool yet. Skool is kind of this up and coming platform. It's rapidly gaining momentum. There's a lot of great communities on there, but there's not a lot of events going on. And I think that this is going to be a very powerful addition to the whole Skool platform. So if you're a Skool owner and you're looking for new ways to grow your community, to scale, and to stand out from others, this video is for you. So first of all, why should you listen to me? And this is where the transitions are. First of all, I'm also going to give a disclaimer. I just got two kittens, and one's right there, and one is right there. If they jump all over me or jump on this desk or cause some noise, some chaos, I'd rather not refilm this video. I'm just going to try and do it in one take. So bear with me. There might be some kitten action going on, but right now they look like they might be sleeping. So this might be a good window for us. I tried to close the door, but they kept meowing at the door, and it was just super annoying. So now they're inside. We'll see how it goes. But why should you stay on this video and listen to me? Just gonna go through this real quick. First of all, I have 4 years of experience in the events industry, and this is not just wedding planning and concerts and parties and prom dances. This is experience in the coaching and community events industry. So for the last year, I've been working with different coaches and different communities, helping them leverage events to grow their businesses. Um, Millions of dollars in revenue generated from ticket sales and at event sales. So this is revenue generated from people buying tickets to attend events. And this is also revenue generated from products and services being sold at the events. This also does not include the intangible revenue that comes from events as well. And over the last 4 years, I was also able to help an online coaching business slash community scale from $0 to $25 million. And a large part of the reason why that business was able to scale to such crazy heights for being a coaching business is because of the events that we integrated into the business model. And finally, I right now currently run a business where I'm dedicated to helping community owners, coaches, and course creators leverage events to scale their businesses. All right, that's all. If this is not enough to convince you to continue watching, then we should just part ways now. But I really enjoy this stuff. I love the whole strategy and execution of leveraging events to grow communities and coaching businesses. And if you share that interest or you want to use that to grow your business, let's just chop it up for a bit. It's gonna be fun. All right, so first I want to cover the benefits of events. First of all, they elevate your brand. Events, really, really elevate your brand. It's kind of plain and simple. They establish you as the authority of a space or an industry. Just like they elevate your brand, they also bring a lot of attention to your brand. It's a great way to attract new leads and new buyers into your ecosystem, because not very many people are doing events and not very many people are doing them correctly. They strengthen your network. You get to meet a lot of cool people through events, especially if you have speakers come and talk at your events. You become the connector, which is a very powerful position to be in. People love somebody that connects them to a business partner or a friend or a partner. If you play that person when you throw events, people will come to your events and they will meet their future business partners. They'll meet an investor. They'll meet somebody who wants to buy their product or service, and they will always associate that with your event. So that it puts you in a very powerful position. It cultivates community around your brand in a certain niche, which is really cool. I've always found it really fun when I find a group of people that are interested in something to talk about. A good example of this is I love Game of Thrones. It's like my favorite TV show. I have a tattoo of some dragons on my leg. And whenever I meet people or find people that are also interested in Game of Thrones, I freaking love it. It's so fun to talk about them. And it's like this community, and there's like all these inside jokes, and we could just talk for hours. So if you can create that around a certain niche, whether it's investing, real estate, drop shipping, e-commerce, whatever it is, It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to be the one that creates that for people, and it also strengthens your existing community and creates kind of a family aspect. In that business that I was able to help scale to $25 million, they have this high ticket community of fund managers, and a lot of people inside of that community, they're not really using the coaching or watching the course material anymore. They're just in it because they love the community and all of their best friends are in the community, and it's actually like a family. So it's pretty cool to see. It decreases churn. When you throw events for your business, people just stay in longer. And we've just found this from the data from the customers that stayed inside of the community longer. And those that churned, we found that those that did not churn were the ones that were attending events, which is pretty cool. And also, we found that people that come into a product, service, or community from events tend to stay longer than people that come in through just typical Facebook ads or webinars, whatever it is. And we're going to continue more benefits of events. They allow you to charge more for your product or service. So they just make you so much more valuable. So much more valuable. I think I have an example here. Yeah, I'll talk about that later on. But let's just believe me, when you incorporate events into your business model, they make you so much more valuable, and you can increase your price when you are charging for a certain product or service if you have events in that business model. Events also allow you to show off your skills. I'm here on YouTube trying to talk to you about events, but you could be bored, you could not like me, you could just leave. But if you're at an event that I'm hosting, you're more likely to stay and pay attention. And it also gives me a lot more freedom to show off my skills, talk a lot about more stuff. And also, I can answer questions, I can pivot, I can read the room, and I can really just dive deep into what people want to learn. So events are a great place to show off your skills. Um, it builds a personal relationship between your brand and consumers, which is, I think, is really important these days. In a world where pretty much everything is online, at least I really value that interperson connection. When I'm buying a product or jumping into a mastermind, I typically at least want to jump on a phone call or two and talk to the people that I'm going to be buying from. But if I can go to an event and actually feel out the brand and meet the people I'm going to be working with, I love that. So I think this is very, very powerful, especially in today's world. It allows you to have a real time pulse on the market. You get to do this by talking to the people that are attending the events, by hearing questions, hosting Q&As, all that good stuff. It also gives you priceless content. You can run your event content as ads. You can use it as kind of like a showcase of your brand on a website. And you can also repackage it and sell it too. Event content, a lot of, people out there. I think of Dan Henry as one. I bought a lot of Dan Henry courses, and a lot of his courses were just footage of his events, his masterminds that he would just repackage and sell as a course. And I thought it was super valuable. So you can use that with your event content as well. And also, events are a great place to grab testimonials from your current customers or just people that are attending the event in general. If you do a good job at planning your event, people are usually in this peak state at your event where they just love your brand, they love you, they're excited, they're meeting people, they're talking about people, and they will deliver an amazing testimonial for you. And then you're also just playing in a whole different game. You can easily tell who's planning events and who's not. Essentially, all the category kings out there, Alex Hormozy, Bridger Pennington, Russell Brunson, Max Parazon, all these category kings are all throwing events. And the reason that they are the ones that are the industry leaders is because they have structured their businesses around events. All right. We're kind of running a little long now. We're at 9 minutes and we haven't even gotten into it yet. So now we're going to dive into the different types of events you can leverage to grow your Skool community. The first one we're going to be talking about is front end events. Now, you've probably heard of weekly webinars. These have been around for a while, and I'm just now starting to see these become a thing in Skool, but they still are pretty powerful. This is just the model that I've used. This is the one that I've experienced with. So if you guys have seen other stuff online, this is not the only model that works, and that should be a disclaimer for this whole video. Everything I'm talking about is not the one way it works. It's just based on my experience, what I've seen work and what we've actually done. So what you can do is once a week you host a webinar where you deliver a tremendous amount of value, and then you have an offer at the end to join your community. You can start advertising for this webinar, on Monday, get people to register for it, build out a simple funnel. You can even host the webinar inside of your free community if you want to build out your free community. So you run an ad, people join your free community, you run your weekly webinar, and then you pitch them to join your paid community at the end of this webinar. They are a bit saturated. A lot of people are doing webinars. A lot of people kind of can detect when it is a webinar. This is myself included, but I still jump on them. If I want to buy something, I would like to go on something where I'm going to be pitched. I'm open to it. It's just kind of the way that I operate. Some people are really turned off by webinars and like sales and stuff like that. But I think they still work, and they're also easy to disguise. Going back to that company that I helped scale to $25 million, one way that we would disguise some webinars is we would do like a market update every quarter. So, Q4 market update, that was like the disguise. And it's like, you don't really register that as being a webinar, but people would jump on. We would talk, for an hour and a half about the market update, everything that's going on. This was a community of fund managers, so they were very into it. And then at the end, we would have a special offer for people that were on the call. And that's a webinar, but it was just disguised as something else, so you can get a little creative. And also, I want to point out, from my experience, money is made in the follow-ups of webinars. So what we did is we would host a webinar on Thursday, and then we'd have follow-ups going out throughout the weekend, and we'd have the deal closing on Sunday. So it would apply a little bit of scarcity. But we would see like 50% of the revenue be generated on the webinar itself, and then the next 50% was generated in the follow-ups to all the people that weren't able to make it, the people that are analytical buyers and they need to think about it some more. Follow-ups are very powerful. So don't just host your webinar and have it end there. Make sure you're sending out some follow-up sequences to really capitalize on the opportunity. Next thing I want to talk about is challenges. The most common type of challenges I've seen are 3-day and 5-day challenges. You don't have to do this. You could do a 1-day challenge, 2-day challenge. You could do a 7-day challenge, whatever you want to do. But I've just seen 3 and 5 days work. I don't have this on there, but I've also seen paid and unpaid work. You can also do like an unpaid, like a free challenge with a VIP upsell. It really just depends. When you run a free challenge, you're going to get more people in the challenge, but there's going to be probably less buyers in the room. If you do a paid challenge, there's probably going to be less people in the room, but more of them are going to be qualified buyers. We've actually had a lot of success with free challenges with VIP upsells, but a lot of people say you should do paid. You can just test that out with your own market. I would suggest doing 1 to 3 hours a day. They don't really need to be that long. People are working, have busy lives. I think you can communicate enough value in 1 to 3 hours per day. And with challenges, this is what really sets them apart. I skipped over that other bullet point, much more engaging and tangible. And this goes hand in hand with what I'm about to say about the QER. Is challenges are very engaging, but they're also actionable. Like most successful challenges, and the ones that we've had the most success on, are the ones where there's like an easy to identify or a quantifiable end result. So it's how to do blank without blank in blank number of days. It's like for us, it was how to get started on launching your fund in 3 days. That was the entire challenge, and by the time people were done with the challenge, they would have the tools that they needed to get started on launching an investment fund. But maybe you are a flipper. You could do, maybe your business model is you teach people to go to yard sales and buy stuff and flip them on Amazon, whatever it is. It could be like how to start your Amazon flipping business in 3 days. That's your challenge. And every single day you get them closer and closer to launching their business. And by the end of the challenge, they should have all of the tools necessary to actually do the thing that you promised them to do. That's why I love challenges, because they're very tangible and you can actually give people results. 3 days and 5 days is plenty of time to deliver a lot of value. That's where it says right here, over deliver on these. You want to provide a ton of value, and you actually want to give people the tools to do something in these challenges. Obviously, leave some room for them to join your paid community to get the rest of the opportunity, but you definitely want to structure these in a way where somebody could leave the challenge and they have all the tools they need to go out there and succeed. I promise you, that's going to work out a lot better for you in the long run. And challenges also give you a lot of time to break down false beliefs. That's one of the most powerful ways to convert people from leads into buyers at an event, is breaking down their false beliefs at the event. And you're kind of, with them individually in a much different state than, a webinar or a YouTube video or a sales call even. And it really gives you a good opportunity to break down their false beliefs that they have internally, their false beliefs that they have externally, and also the false beliefs they have about the vehicle you're teaching about. And then at the end, of course, pitch them to join your community. And I think this is going to be very cool for Skool. I think this is going to be very powerful in a couple months. Up next, I want to talk about conferences. This is pretty advanced stuff. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you've never thrown an event before, but if you want to, if you're feeling ambitious, conferences are they're advanced. They're a little riskier, a little scarier, but they're also way more powerful. And also, this is like a false belief about conferences. They don't have to be thousands of people. You can host a conference of just 50 people or 100 people, whatever it is. A conference, there's no number of people that have to go to an event to make it a conference. So just keep that in mind. But just remember that bringing people together in a room in person is powerful. And this is something I will always live and die by. I believe I have this somewhere in here. I'll talk about it later. But I think that bringing people together in the room to actually meet each other and shake hands is way more powerful than any type of virtual event you could plan. And I know the whole trend is to go towards virtual. I do believe that virtual events are powerful. You can generate a lot of revenue there. You can still do a lot of cool stuff on virtual events, but nothing will ever beat the power of an in-person event. We are social creatures. We need to meet people. We need to shake hands. We need to build relationships in person. That's how it's been for thousands and thousands of years, and that's how it will always be. So there's a massive trend of in-person or virtual events going on right now. I get it, but don't lose faith in in-person events because they are so, so, so powerful. It also really establishes you as an authority in a space. If you can effectively throw an in-person event, you're just going to set yourself apart from all of your competitors. You're going to be the guy or the girl, gender neutral, that's throwing events for a certain industry, and it just really establishes you as an authority and elevates your brand. And yeah, like it says right here, I think in-person events have everything that virtual events have to offer and more. So if you're looking for the extra sauce, I would recommend throwing an in-person event at some point. They are a little bit more expensive and riskier, and it does work a little better for high ticket offers. But this is not something that should defer you if you're a school owner. I know a lot of people have your monthly subscription, whatever it is, but a conference could be a great place to pitch your annual membership. Maybe you are charging $100 a month for your membership. You could do some sort of special where you charge, 4 or 5 grand, whatever it is, at the conference, or give some sort of discount, make it worth it. But also, I think in-person events is a great place to really leverage the power of the annual membership fees. I know that that's like a new function of Skool, so it's probably going to be around a lot more. I think I did the math wrong there. We're going to take a second. We're going to do 100 times, yeah, 4 or 5 grand. That would be way too much money. So if you're doing $100 a month, you can charge $1,000 for your community as a discount, or maybe you're charging $500 a month. That's where you can get into like the 4 or 5 grand as your offer for the annual membership, whatever it is. I would just, if you're going to do a conference, I would suggest doing some sort of annual membership. Make it a very like a no-brainer deal. Make it a very juicy deal for the people that are attending. But I would still recommend just doing the annual membership, getting up into that higher ticket uh, area, just because it's gonna mitigate the costs of the event, and it's gonna make it a lot more worth it for you. So I'm glad I fact checked myself there. I said $100 a month, and then I said 5 grand. I was like, that does not sound right. I was a sociology major in college, so I did not do math. I am horrible at math. So if that offends you, if that turns you off, honestly, it's valid because that's pretty embarrassing. But all right, back end events. So I'm going to talk about challenges again. I think this is something that is very, very underutilized for the back end, which is challenges. So a lot of people do challenges to get people into their communities, but you can also leverage challenges inside of your free communities to get people into your paid communities. So just like I said right here, host challenges in your free community and upsell them into your paid community. This can be one-on-one or one-to-many. So something that we're doing in our community right now, Skool Events Lab, the free community, is we're actually doing one-on-one challenges, which I think it still constitutes as an event. We're just doing individual events with everyone that joins the community. And we're doing a 4-day challenge, and that means everybody gets 4 one-on-one coaching calls where we actually walk them through the process of planning their first event for their community course or coaching business. But if that's not very attractive to you, it is a lot of work. We're going to be on a lot of calls. You can also do with the typical one-to-many challenge. But it's the exact same structure. If your community is on how to flip houses, then host a challenge every single month inside of your free community where you take people how to find your first house to flip in 3 days. That's your challenge. You do it every single month. You get people on the challenge, and then you upsell them into your paid community at the end of the challenge. Like I said, you can host these monthly or bi-monthly. I would not suggest going more than that because it can get kind of annoying. People in your community aren't going to jump on a challenge every single week, So I'd keep it to bi-monthly or monthly. And just make sure you're establishing a QER. Everything I talked about on the previous slide about challenges, it applies to this as well, but this is just more on the back end than on the very front end. In-person workshops and summits. This is, in my opinion, probably the most powerful way to leverage events to scale a business. This is where it allows you to charge a lot more for your product or service. Like I said right here, incorporating in-person workshops allowed us to increase the price of a product from $10,000 to $30,000, and that 30K price point was a generous 30K. Like we could probably easily charge 40 or 50K for it, and that was mainly because we introduced events into the business model. And these events just became so valuable for people, and we also created such a strong community with this product that people would go out and they'd tell their friends about it, and they would come and join, and people wouldn't leave because they just love the community so much. So it's very hard to track this. When you throw a conference or you throw a challenge, you can see how much revenue is generated from that event. But this one is very powerful because it decreases churn, it strengthens your community, and that allows you to charge more. So there's so much intangible revenue that's generated from this. But I cannot express this enough. Having in-person workshops and summits, especially for a school community, like people are not doing this. So if you are hosting it, if you have a school community, and I see a lot, about generating how to make money online with AI. If that's your community and you start hosting in-person workshops, maybe it's just for a year. You're gonna be able to charge 100, 200, 300, maybe even $400, $500 a month. I've even seen some communities doing $1,000 a month, and they're still not doing events. So if you incorporate events into the value stack, you're going to be able to charge a lot more for your community, and it's going to be very worth it because the people are going to be getting so much value from these events. Like I said, I can't express this enough. Getting people in the room together is wildly valuable. And when you're doing these in-person workshops and summits, make sure you find a good balance between lectures, engaging activities, networking time, and showcasing student success. You don't really want to host an event where you're just on stage talking the entire time. That's not really what people are there for. They want to meet each other. You also want to find ways to communicate new methods and strategies in a way that's engaging. Maybe just do Jeopardy or something like that. Or at one of the workshops we've done in the past for that fund manager community, we would have them get up on stage and debate each other. It was super fun. So just find ways of engaging learning. And also, like I said, this is a great place to showcase student success. So I'd recommend giving some of your students an opportunity to speak on stage and kind of just talk about how they have succeeded, because that's going to show the people inside of your community that they can do it as well. If their peer is on stage speaking about it, they are able to do it as well. And that's actually a good way. That's a good tool to leverage for your front end events as well, like challenges. I'd recommend having a student or two come on, and maybe it's a Q&A, or maybe they have their own session slot, but they just come on and talk about how much success they have seen within your community, within your coaching program. That's a great way to show people that, hey, this person's legit, and what they are teaching actually works. And these don't need to be that frequent. Just 3 or 4 times a year is good. Look at that little transition. That's cool. The last one I want to talk about is members only meetups. This is actually a simple way to introduce in-person events. These are mainly structured around networking, which is fine because that's the most valuable part of every single event. And you can actually have this be a thing that's hosted by your community members. Something that we've done in the past is, we've had almost like chapter meetups where a community member will host a pop-up, in Austin, Texas, or New York, or Las Vegas, whatever it is. They host these events, and people that live in the area come and just hang out for a couple hours, and you have to be a member of the community to attend. And it's pretty fun. It's a good way to strengthen that community, and also adds more value to your offer. And like I said, it can be at no cost. You can do a meetup at a park or at a bar. These might be a little harder to keep non-members out of, but then again, how many people are going to try and sneak into your member-only pop-up? If you're absolutely killing it, then maybe a lot of people. That's a good problem to have, in my opinion. But it's easy just to kind of feel it out. You can have little wristbands made, that cost a couple $100. It can be very cheap. Yeah, that's kind of it. That was my freestyle. There's plenty of other ways to also leverage events to grow a business. I'll probably make another video like this in the future. But I literally was just an hour ago, just building out this Google Doc and just listing down all these ideas of different ways you can grow a school community with events. So hopefully one of these resonated with you. And if you are a school owner, or even if you're a coach or a community owner or a course creator who's not on Skool, but you do want to start integrating events into your business model, I'm actually going to walk you over to my community that I run. Skool.com. Yeah, right here. Where's the little bubble? There it is. Wait till I see myself. Perfect. So this is the Skool Events Lab. You can see right here, we help people leverage events to grow their school communities, but this also applies to coaches, course creators, and community owners that are on Skool. It's all the same strategy. It's all the same stuff, but this community is mainly geared towards school owners just because it's on Skool, the platform. But yeah, anyone who's interested in this can join. And like I mentioned, we have a challenge that's going on. So you actually get 4 one-on-one coaching calls where we will walk you through the process of planning your first event for scale. And you can see right here, this is kind of the structure of the challenge. Call 1 will be the event type and the objective of the event. Call number 2 is understanding your attendee. Call number 3 is how to leverage events for scale. And then finally, call number 4 is like implementation and the execution. And yeah, so you get 4 free coaching calls. It's 4 hours of one-on-one coaching, which is, I think, pretty valuable. You also get Scaling with Events Lite, which is a kind of a course on how I have been able to leverage events to help coaches and community owners grow their businesses. You get the North Star framework, which is a framework that I use when I'm planning my events at the very beginning to lay a strong foundation. You get the actual playbook that I use to get the right strategy for leveraging events for scale. And there's also monthly Q&As, and you also get access to a pretty cool community of people that are doing the same thing as you. So it's all this value, $0. It's free, no cost to you at all. So if you're interested, head over to Skool.com, Skool.com/eventslab. I will also link it in the description, and you can jump on and we can hop on those 4 coaching calls. All right, I think I did it. That was one take. Probably wasn't the most smooth video I've made, but we'll see how it is. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.